I first realized that I wanted to compose when I was about 9 years old. It's the hokiest, corniest story that you can imagine. Uh, we were in a reading class. I was in the fifth grade, I guess. I'd been studying piano for maybe a year, so a late bloomer in that area as well. But early in the sense of knowing that I wanted to compose, we read a story about Mozart. I told you it was hokey, right? And suddenly, I was asking my piano teacher, who I knew kept a stash of music paper in a drawer in the studio, if I could take some of it home with me, and I could write music. So I wrote all kinds of little pieces, and I didn't even know where the bar lines went yet. So that was when I realized that I wanted to compose, and it cost me a lot in a way. My mother wasn't terribly sympathetic to the idea of this, and you can imagine the other kids probably weren't too. But I was a stubborn little guy, so I kept at it. I would say my first formative musical influence, oddly enough, is the Beatles. Around 1964, I was one of those people watching Ed Sullivan in February of that year, and I saw them, and I was immediately taken with their music and bought every record I could find of theirs. So a very formative influence indeed. The first music I actually remember hearing was not long after I was born. I heard the music from My Fair Lady. My parents had a recording of it, and so that's the first music I actually remember hearing as a child. When I was a student in college, I became particularly interested in vocal music because I was studying voice for the first time. I'd sung in choirs all my life, so I had already had some familiarity with vocal music and choral music. But I actually started studying voice, and because I was a pianist, I was also accompanying singers all the time. So I spent lots of hours in a voice studio playing arias or art songs for singers, and whatever else they would be working on. Sometimes it would be pop songs or Broadway tunes. But I had a real affinity, I felt, for writing for the voice because I sang and because I was accompanying singers all the time. So I was also having to adjust when things went awry, during a performance. So I learned a lot of good tricks as an accompanist. I think my aim as a composer has always been to have the broadest possible palette. I like to feel that I can write music that's very angular and, for lack of a better word, to use a cliche, modernist. But I also like to feel like I can explore the region that exists between tonality and non-tonality, and write music that alludes to earlier styles too. So I like to feel that I have a lot of range. That's what I really like to explore.